Hey everybody, it's nutritionist Amy Berger from toitnutrition.com doing another unscripted, raw type of off-the-cuff video. I said I would do more of these and I haven't really carried through with that yet until now. Let's see, it's May 15th. I always like to give the recording day now because sometimes I record these really far in advance. So if I say things that seem out of date. Anyway, I have been dropping little hints, getting a little more personal in some of my videos about, body image, food, addiction, binge eating, emotional eating, all types of things that I said I would talk more about. But why do I always get the urge to do this when I just finish a workout or coming from a walk or something? It is mid-May. I live in North Carolina, and yet when I go for my very, very long walks, I actually like to bundle up. I'm wearing like 4 shirts right now, and I wear a fleece jacket. Don't ask me why. I'm a little bit nuts. I like to sweat a lot when I work out, and well, there's more to it than that. That might be another video as to why I do that. But anyway, came from a workout, no makeup, hair up, just like the last time I did one of these videos, and I do like to go for very, very long walks because, as you know, I'm a writer and I could sit in front of my computer all day without moving if I wanted to. And even on days where I don't do that much writing, if I'm reading some of the papers, I read a lot of scientific papers that I either include, citations for in my blog posts or in some of these videos or in, writing for my day gig, my paid writing. But most of my work is sedentary, right? I have to deliberately incorporate physical activity into my day, or I could stay in my little tiny apartment all day and barely move. So I do like to go for very, very long walks. I usually go for about 90 minutes, sometimes a little more, depending on how I'm feeling. And I haven't worked out in a while. I haven't been lifting in ages, mostly because I don't like it. I don't like it. I used to. Somewhere the last 2 years, I stopped enjoying it, and I really, really have to force myself to do it. And so instead of doing that, instead of making it a chore and making it a burden and making physical activity something that is going to be a drag and something that's going to make me resent it, I just said, you know what, Amy? Now is not the time to lift. You really don't want to do it, but be active in some other way. Go for a really long walk, do some other sort of movement, and so at least I walk. Is it the greatest? Is it super strenuous? No. Is it better than nothing? Yeah, or so I tell myself. Anyway, I'm totally rambling right now. It's almost 3 minutes. Here we are, and I haven't even said anything meaningful yet. So what did I want to talk about today? Well, it's hard to know how to phrase this, but I guess I'll start by talking about 2 women that I know, in my personal life. One is actually a family member and one is a friend. And these women are both in their 60s, or maybe one of them might be in her early 70s. They are very, very accomplished women, professionally, personally. I think they're both on their second marriage. They're both grandmothers of just scores of grandchildren. They're both career women. One of them I know put 4 kids through college. She was in an abusive, her first marriage was an abusive relationship. She got herself out of that, basically raised their 4 children on her own, put them all through school. They're all now productive members of society. And, these 2 women are the kindest, warmest, beautiful inside and out. They just radiate good intentions for everybody. They just want the best for everybody else. They want to see other people succeed. They want to help other people succeed. Bursting with generosity, bursting with just genuine kindness. And yet, both of them feel less than because of weight, because of the size or weight of their bodies, the physical force of Earth's gravity upon their body. They feel less than. And I guess I kind of wanted to make this video because I'm just feeling like, when is it enough? How much does a person have to accomplish in life for it to be enough? for them to be enough, for a human to be enough? Are you not enough if you're 5 or 10 or 20 pounds heavier than you think you should be? How much is it not enough to be fabulous at your career and to be a mother and a grandmother and a hard worker and a kind, helpful, generous, warm person who puts positivity into the world and into other people's lives? Is that not enough? That's terrifying to me, that we as a society collectively feel like that's not enough. Or maybe we as a collective society do think it's enough, but personally, individually, right? Because I guarantee you both of those women would maybe look at each other. They don't know each other, but they could probably meet each other and say, wow, that lady, oh my God, she's amazing. Look at what she's accomplishing. Holy cow. And they would say, each would say that about the other, not realizing that the other is thinking, God, if only I could lose 10 pounds, and not thinking that you're doing the exact same thing. How can you look at her and say she's, wow, she's, what a dynamite person, what a fabulous specimen of a human being, because she's just such a nice presence, not physically, just the way she makes other people feel, the energy that she radiates. And I just kind of forgot what I was going to say exactly with that, but thinking that she would have no idea that other woman is thinking, God, I'm so fat, and I get emails, of course, as a nutritionist, people write to me to, hey, I'm looking for help with keto, blah, blah, blah. And if somebody only mentions weight, it's all they mention, I sometimes I try to dig a little deeper and I say, is there anything else going on? Okay, you mentioned you'd like to lose some weight. Do you have headaches? Do you have GERD, acid reflux, whatever? Is there anything else in your physical health, your energy levels, your mental and emotional health, your cognition, anything else that you feel is not where you would like it to be? Like, is there if we work together and if I help you with a ketogenic diet, do you have something else to tell you how things are going other than the number you see on the scale or other than the tape measure around your waist or your hips? Do you have some other way to gauge the efficacy of this way of eating in your life? And so, sometimes there is, sometimes there's not. And it also depends on the vibe that I get from the email. I've been at this long enough that I can sort of read between the lines in an email when somebody just reaches out to me off the internet. When all it is weight, and it's weight all the time in that email, I weigh blah, 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 but in, 60 years ago in high school, I weighed this, or 20 years ago when I got married, I weighed this, but my goal weight is this. No, sorry. I often, not always, but often refer those people out. Every time I get an email from somebody that just wrote to me out of nowhere, my first line is always, hi, insert name, thanks for writing. Then I say, get into the business. So I never am like, sorry, I can't help you buy. It's like, hey, Flo, hey, Joyce, whatever. Thanks for writing. Based on what you told me here, I don't think I'm the right person for you. I suggest working with so-and-so, or sometimes I don't suggest anyone. Sometimes I just say, I don't think we'd be a good fit. I recommend trying to find someone else to work with. And I don't usually elaborate. Sometimes I do. And I'll say it's because I really am uncomfortable working with people whose only interest in keto is weight loss or fat loss. And not that there's anything wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to lose weight, but you've got to have some other way of figuring out whether or not keto or low carb is doing something beneficial for you. It could even be, let's say you have no physical complaints whatsoever, no mental cognitive complaints. Maybe we could gauge it by, you know what? I'm not that hungry. I don't have to snack all day. I used to get hypoglycemic. I used to have a candy bar in my purse. I don't have that anymore. Hey, Amy, great. It's working. Maybe I used to get ravenous. I used to get really irritable if I didn't eat every 2 hours. And now I can go 5 hours, no big deal. Or whatever the issue is. If I don't like working with people who have a goal weight, a goal number they want to see on the scale. And here's why. If you have a goal weight and only a goal weight, even a goal size, although I think a goal size and a goal physique, a goal shape is a little better to have than a goal weight, but I don't even like the goal shape either. And here's why. Because first, what if you never get there? What if you just never get there? What if you're doing everything right? We're doing everything we think we can do to get you where you want to go, and you're just not going to get there. You've probably improved a lot. You've probably gotten closer to it, or maybe very close to it, but maybe you're not going to go that final 5 pounds or that final inch off your waist or whatever it is. You're going to feel like a failure, right? Because you didn't get to your goal weight or your goal size. You know, maybe you're a 6 and you want it to be a 2, ladies, if you're talking about dress size or something. Or you're a 14 and you want it to be a 10, whatever. But it's even worse with the weight, because let's say, or it's not worse with the weight. I mean, it's bad enough if it's hard enough, right, emotionally, if you never get to your goal at all. But I can tell you, it's even worse if you do get there and you're still not happy. Maybe your goal weight was 125 pounds. Well, now you're at 125 pounds and you still don't like yourself. You still feel like a stranger in your own skin. You still feel like you want to crawl out of your body and be somebody else. You've worked so hard. You've gotten to your goal and you're still miserable. I can't do it. I cannot help somebody who's going to end up there. So I try to do a better job of sort of understanding somebody's goals and somebody's situation and somebody's background. Because if you come from a long history of food restriction, of deprivation, of disordered eating. I'm not going to say full-blown eating disorder, but of disordered eating. It's very, very difficult to get out of that. You can pretend you've gotten out of it. You can tell me you've gotten out of it. And I know, based on what you write to me and based on the conversations we have, you are so very not out of it. You can fool yourself into thinking you're out of it. You're not. And I can tell immediately from somebody's email that they're not out of it. But I really don't like working with people who have a goal weight, because what if you get there and you got there? You should feel like $1 million and you don't. You still feel like a failure. You feel less than. You feel unworthy. You feel undeserving. And I hear from a lot of women. I don't want to say older, you know, age is relative, right? The older I get, the younger all those ages seem. But I hear from, a fair number of women in their 60s who are still fighting this. And I feel tired for them. When is it enough? When is it okay to just be in your own skin? And if you're carrying an extra 10 pounds, oh well, it is what it is. Now, if your weight is interfering with your quality of life, right? If you have obesity, and I say have obesity, I take that language from the Obesity Medicine Association. I don't say if you are obese, right? It's called people first language, so I don't say if you are a type 2 diabetic. We say if you have type 2 diabetes, if you are a person with obesity, if you are a person with whatever, with obesity, because it's just an adjective, right? Obese, it's an adjective. Like you could be tall, you could be obese, you could have blue eyes, you could be a brunette. Like brunette is neither good nor bad. It's a descriptor. I have brown hair, therefore I'm a brunette. So if somebody has a lot of body fat on them, they're fat. It's not a negative comment. It's a large, maybe I should say large, whatever it is. I'm trying to point out that I'm trying to make a deliberate effort to use that people first language in my writing, some less so in my writing, more so in these videos, but because I was saying if your weight is interfering with your quality of life. If you have a degree of obesity where you can't walk, 3 or 4 blocks, you can't walk around the block with your grandkids or your children, or you can't, fit into a booth at a restaurant or a seat at a movie theater. If your size is hampering your everyday existence, yeah, maybe you probably do want to get a substantial amount of weight off. You might still not have, don't do so well with the goal weight, don't have a particular number in mind. Just know that you want to get some weight off so maybe your joints don't hurt so much. Maybe you can keep up with your kids. Maybe you can fit into whatever the situation is that you, physically are not able to fit into now. But if we're talking about the last 5, 10, 15 pounds, even 20 pounds even, I'm not, believe you me, as somebody who has been heavier than I am now, I am not downplaying the importance of being at a weight or a size or a shape that you're happy with. I know what it's like to look in the mirror and not be happy. I'll look in the mirror now half the time and I'm still not happy, but don't judge me now, right? I'm gross. I just came back from my walk. But so I'm not at all downplaying the emotional importance of that, especially for women, but it's getting almost as bad in men these days too, but especially for us gals. But, what is that goal weight going to get you that you don't have now? What is that size 4 dress going to get you that you don't have in your size 14? I know we all have this mythical perception like life is going to be perfect when I'm a size 6. No, it's not. I kind of hate to break it to you. It's not. Whatever problems you have in your size 10 pants are still going to be in your life in your size 4 pants, or men in your size, I don't know. I don't know what's big for a man, 38, 40. Some of those problems are still going to be with you in your 33s, your 33 pants. Do some problems go away? Yeah. If you do have a problem related to your weight, maybe that is going to get better. But if something's wrong with your career, if something's wrong with your marriage, if something's wrong with some other relationship or whatever, some other, shortcoming in your life, losing weight doesn't magically fix that. Having a smaller body doesn't magically fix that. And it like breaks my heart to hear from these slightly older, I'll call them more seasoned, right? We talk about senior citizens, I'll talk about seasoned citizens. From hearing from these more seasoned ladies that they are so accomplished. They have such richness in their life in so many ways. And they're still fighting this weight battle. They are still fighting the battle. And these aren't women with obesity, with morbid obesity. These aren't women that could lose, let's say, 100 pounds if they wanted to or if they felt like they needed to. It's not, the size is not to that extent on any level. And I'm 40 and I still fight this a little bit, less than I used to, a lot less than I used to, but I do still fight it, and I'll have another video on that, hopefully sooner than this one came. But if I'm still fighting this when I'm 60, I don't know if I would just give up or just be grateful that I'm still alive to fight it. Someday I'd like to just let it go. It's baggage that I've been carrying since I was a kid. I remember being 10 years old and jumping rope because I thought it would burn calories and I thought I would lose weight. I was a very chubby kid. 10 years old, can you imagine? A 10-year-old jumping rope, not because it was fun and I liked it, which it was and I did, but mainly because it was exercise and I thought it would help me lose weight. And I just... I mentioned this in that other video, I think, about body image, that I want to start volunteering, which I have yet to do. I'm kind of still figuring out career-wise what I need to do. My profession, really, I need to start making significantly more income, frankly, and so I've been focusing more time trying to do the professional stuff and not really focusing on the volunteering and the personal stuff. But I would like for my life to be something that I'm so busy doing work that I love, doing work that's meaningful to me, being of service to other people, helping other people, putting positive stuff out into the world. I would like to be so busy with that that I don't have time to worry about the damn size of my thighs. That's where I'd like to be. That's where I'd like most of us to be. Let's be so in love with our lives and so, I'm not going to use the word busy. I know I just did. Busy isn't really the right word. So engaged, so highly engaged in living in the moment, in doing what we're doing, that we don't have time to think about the upper arm jiggle and the second chin and the, that's not what life is for. You know, I don't know if we get more than one shot at this of being in the world. I don't know, but we know we get at least one, right? So we ought to enjoy the one we have. And I don't know, this is what happens when I'm unscripted. I just kind of have to pause to get my thoughts together, but it's easier said than done. I'm not just going to be like, oh, love yourself, everybody. Love yourself no matter what size you are. I know that it doesn't work that way, that you can't just say it and it happens. So love yourself if you can, no matter what size you are, no matter what weight you are, no matter how healthy you are. You're not under any obligation to be healthy. If you're very, very sick, if you have some very severe issue that you're dealing with, or you're not dealing with, if you're sweeping it under the rug, that's okay. Sometimes that's what you have to do every now and then to survive, to get through another day, you know, intact. Sometimes you have to fight it every day. Sometimes you have to pull the covers back over your head and not fight. Sometimes you have to take a break from fighting it all. And so if you can't love your body right now, no matter what size or shape it is, if you can't love it and be grateful for it, then at least be neutral. Don't hate it. At least say, you know, because I have days like this. Some days I do actually love myself. I'm like, you know what? Wow, I feel great. I've come a long way. I'm doing really good things for myself. I'm doing, you know, taking a lot of deliberate action to be healthy and to be active and to be in a state of mental and physical and emotional health and well-being that I enjoy. And then some days not. Some days not so much. Some days it's like, wow, this really sucks. And I'm not going to think about it. I'm going to just be neutral, and I'm just going to keep busy with other stuff so I don't have to think about this body crap, you know? And that's okay. If you can't love yourself, don't. Just get through the day. Just breathe. You know what Tom Hanks said in Sleepless in Seattle, right? I'm going to wake up and I'm going to breathe in and out. I forget the exact line, like I'm going to breathe in and out all day, and then I'm going to go to sleep, and I'm going to wake up and do it again the next day. And if that's all you can do some days is to ignore your size and shape, I better to ignore it than to spend the day hating yourself and feeling inferior and feeling ashamed. I have no idea what I wanted to say in this video. It all just kind of came out. And I don't know why it always happens when I think because when I'm working out or when I'm walking, especially outdoors, this stuff comes to me. I don't know, maybe my brain is working better, or I'm just, especially in the fresh air, it just makes me think about all this stuff. And just like I kept procrastinating with that first video, I went back and forth talking myself out of this one, like, no, it's stupid. Oh, do it tomorrow, do it some other day. And I said, no, because if you do that, you're never going to do this, or it's going to take you another 2 months. You'll say it every time you get this feeling to do this video. You'll talk yourself out of it. So no, get home and do it. And I'm super hungry now. I've got some hard-boiled eggs waiting for me. I mentioned in one of the other videos that lately I've been waiting until my hunger is very, very strong until I start eating for the day. So haven't really, I had my coffee. I had a bunch of coffee, actually. I did have some cheese. I got a little hungry earlier, so I had some cheese. But now it's time to chow down, and then I got to get working. But it's enough. You are enough exactly as you are. And I'm Amy Berger. I'm not Fred Rogers. You guys all know Mr. Rogers. He would have said, you are enough. You are perfect exactly as you are. Take it one day at a time. Take it one day at a time. And if you can't be satisfied in your skin, if you can't just be okay with yourself, it's okay to not be okay. Don't be okay with yourself. Just survive. Just get through to the end of the day and go to sleep. And hopefully tomorrow will be a little better. And I'll be coming at you again with a couple more videos like this. The next ones will have more to do, I think, with appetite and satiety and like eating when you're hungry, stopping when you're full. Like, sounds really easy. It's really hard to do that, right? Way easier said than done. Oh, just eat when you're hungry, stop when you're satisfied. Great. Can you tell me how to do that? So some more of these videos we'll talk more about the nuts and bolts and willpower and do you need willpower to stay on keto? But hopefully I don't know if this video was helpful or not, or it's probably not helpful in terms of being educational, but if it just lets you know that you are not alone. Nobody is alone in these body image struggles. I hate that word, but this body image shit, frankly, this shit that we're all in with body image. We're all in it together. We're not talking about it enough. So I will see you next time. And if nobody wants to pay me on Patreon for videos like this, but if you do, patreon.com/toitnutrition. If you have ideas for videos that you would like me to do, topics you want me to cover, whether it's about this kind of thing or more like the science and the, metabolic physiology of keto, send me an email because I will not see the comments. I can't keep up with all the comments in the video. I try to watch comments for about a day or two after I post a video. After that, I'm kind of on to the next thing. So send me an email if you have something you'd really like me to cover. It's tuitnutrition@gmail.com, TUIT nutrition@gmail.com. And thank you for watching with no makeup and looking gross. See you next time.